Hi all, Jean here. I am just saging this YouTube street today, that's for sure. If you have been following me, you know that I am doing 100 days of video with the intention of continuing. And this is like I just wanted to do a little sage and get back into a little bit of a um, cleansing modality type of thing, right? So I am Jean. I am from a small Caribbean island, Grenada. However, I live in Canada where I am living now in the Canadian Rockies out in Kenmore, Alberta, which is very close to Banff, Alberta. So if you're following me, please know that that's where I'm at. That's where I hang out. This is my jam. I've been out here for the last 30, almost 30 years already. Um, 26, 27, yeah. So 28 years to be specific since I've been living out in these neck of the woods. Um, yeah, so today, my topic for today is really breaking down my 100 days, right? I have 2 more days really today and tomorrow to make videos, but I'm breaking down the 100 days in 20-day increment, right? So five um five steps to the 100 days. So this is my 5 steps in this 100-day program here. Well, my own 100-day program. Um, yeah, so my 5 steps, which I'm breaking down, and I had to write it down. So don't be alarmed if I'm not just looking at you and looking at the video and trying to prove my point without at least making some um, notes so that I can, remember where I'm at and what I'm doing and how it's going. So my first 20 days, and I have decided to break it down into 20 days increment because when I was thinking on it and revisiting how it went, I noticed that the 20-day increment, it speaks volume. So that's how I wanted to break it down for you guys or the person who is watching. Hopefully one of these days you're watching this and you're like, oh yeah, thank you. Anyway, so my first 20 days, I must tell you that I was so excited. Um, I was excited. I was sure that I can do this. I wanted to be seen, and I was having so much fun doing it. I was having fun with my personality. I was having fun doing the videos and posting them, and just chatting and being myself, and really telling my story. And when I actually started in those first 20 days, I started with my journey, my spiritual journey, and all the things that happened, and when I started my spiritual journey, and um, and that was really big for me. I felt like my spiritual journey was one of the biggest things that I have done in my lifetime. So it would be something that I really definitely wanted to share about. So if you go back to my first 20, 30 videos, you're going to see the story of where I start my spiritual journey. And for me, oh my God, it was just so excited and it was so much to talk about it because I started my spiritual journey a long, long time ago, even when I didn't know that I started my spiritual journey. And one of the things that I used to do when I just started my spiritual journey, um, I used to go to random church, big, beautiful, old churches in cities, whatever city I'm in, wherever I'm at. Even when I live in Banff for 25 years, there was a nice little church down one of the street right downtown that's called St. George in the Pines. And I love, 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 love going to St. George in the Pines. I just I they always had um a sign outside that says open for prayer. I don't think I've ever seen another church that had that sign outside that says open for prayer, which means that any time of day you can be walking past. Usually I'll be on my way to the bank and there will be the sign, and I'll go and sit down and I'll say a prayer to Mary, because when I started my journey, without really starting my journey, a lot of that had to do with talking to Mary. And, Mary Magdalene, that is, the one that washed, I guess, Jesus Christ's feet, and, the one that they quote unquote call the name, you guys know the name that starts with a W. I don't know if I can say it here on these YouTube streets, but it's possible. So, anyways, I started years ago, really just lighting a candle, reading my most favorite book, which I have right here. Um, that's to tell you the truth, by Marianne Williamson, A Woman's Worth. I swear by this book. It's one of those books that I keep as a I don't know. It's just one of those books that I read over all the time. I got her to sign it a couple of years ago when I met her here in Canada in Kelowna, BC, here in Canada. And the page that I just opened on is where she said, "A goddess does not go and get a lover. She is a true lover, and happiness gathered onto her. Love is not something that come into us from someone else. It is an extension of our own mind, reverberating back to us, reverting back to us in what seems to be another person's smile." Yes, reverting back to us in what seems to be another person's smile. So as a goddess, we do not go and get a lover. Anyway, this book is just full of sweetness. She has all different parts in it, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful book. I recommend it for any woman who do not know their worth to read this book, A Woman's Worth. And I think maybe that's why I come back to this book, and that's why I started with this book. And look at that, full circle. This was not my intention to even talk about this book today, but full circle, here I am talking about Marianne Williamson. And you should know Marianne Williamson. She is author. She authored quite a number of books. One of her books is called A Return to Love. I think she did a book on prayer, the Illuminati. And one of the things I make a lot of fun about myself is that I'm not good at pronouncing things. There are words that cannot roll around in my tongue, and I don't know. It seems like it's getting worse as I'm getting older when I'm trying to roll things around in my mouth. It could be my partial dentures that is not allowing me to roll my tongue around things, or it could just be that I'm from the Caribbean, and because of that, um, I, when it comes to my accent, it's the way it goes. And I've always had this problem where people want to correct me. So my first 20 days, I was excited. I wanted to do this. I was on top of it. I was a go for doing videos and posting it on YouTube Street without worrying about what you had to say, what you didn't have to say. I was all up in my personality. I was doing my thing. I actually really and truly believe that I wanted to be seen for who I am, and I wanted to be myself. And whoever this me is, this is how I'm showing up. And thank you for that. Now, the second 20 days was a little different. I started to feel vulnerable. I feel some shame. I felt doubt. I started thinking that being myself was not enough. And so I started kind of doubting myself, feeling vulnerable, wondering if anybody's going to like my video. Although the first couple of times that I was doing, like my first 20 days, I didn't think about it. It doesn't matter where anybody, um, it does matter, but I wasn't focused on the likes and all of that and the subscribers. You have to remember, I start my channel 100 days ago with basically no subscribers, like literally. I had my channel for a long time. I think I may or may not have had. I think I had two subscribers, a tree that was from 2015 or 2014, but I had no subscribers. Right now, at this time, I think the last time I checked, I had 52 subscribers. So what that tells me is that I actually got a subscriber every second day, because I got, half. I got 50, 100 days, I got 50 subscribers. That is good. That is excellent. I don't know why it is. I feel I need to, you know, but I started to doubt myself. I started to wonder if I alone was enough. And, you know, um, so in that second uh, 20 days, of the 100 days, if you're following, it was a little bit more challenging for me, right? Because I went from really discussing, my spiritual journey, to discussing, um, how it's okay to begin again. It's never too old to start over. And I'm truly in that era there, where it's not too late to start over, it's not too late to begin again. But I am floundering because I don't know if I have a niche, or if I should be getting a niche, or what my niche should look like, and what am I talking about, and who am I talking to it about, and all of that, right? So those second 20 days was a little challenging for me. It was a lot challenging. And I don't know if I'm going to get through the whole 520 days, to make it 100 days today, but we shall try, because, yeah. So, anyway, by the time I got to my third 20 days, which is now I'm in my 60 days, like era, I started thinking that I needed to do more interesting videos. So I started doing, finding spaces outside to do outdoor office, which I call my outdoor office. I started walking around and doing videos in the neighborhood. I remember driving from here to Banff and doing an outdoor video, because I'm thinking that it is important for me to, shake things up and do things different, because people are going to think that I'm boring. This is where this is boring now. I need it to be more interesting. So I need to go and find out interesting things to do, and to walk around my neighborhood. Um, excuse me. I until I feel something good, and try to do it outside. Now, the thing about doing my video outside, which I really like, it comes up with a lot of distraction, because when I'm walking around and there are people, I get distracted, which means that it takes me out of what it is I want to talk about. So what I'm learning is that if I'm doing my video outdoor and I'm walking around outdoor, mainly what that means is that I have to be telling you about the area and the neighborhood, and what people do in that area and that neighborhood. So it would be hard for me to get distracted. But when I go out to do my video in my outdoor office, so to speak, I usually I'm doing something, my topic is inspiring, and it, what I mean. So, and when I get distracted, then I feel like I'm all over the place. So in that, third 20 days, which is within the 60 days, you know, I was making a lot of longer videos as well. That's when I started making a lot of more longer videos, because I think I need to make my videos longer. And I start to worry about editing my videos, and all these different things, because I'm like, oh, I'm losing who I am. Again, because I'm being distracted, and I'm thinking that I need to be like somebody else. So that in my third 20 days, which is, 60 days in, all of that is going on in my mind, in my spirit. Um, and so I made quite a number. I made some videos in my car. I made videos here. I made videos out in Banff in my car. but I do notice that those videos, um, my superpower is actually when I sit here and I'm focused, I do my videos like this. And I actually love doing my videos like this because then my distraction is a lot, less. And I can pull myself back into focus quicker when I'm sharing as opposed to running around outside and trying to share something that is very insightful. And it's only now that I'm actually having this discussion that I'm realizing that it is actually, the type of video that I'm doing. This is more succinct with who I am and and the value that I'm bringing to the table. This is better for me and that value as opposed to running around and doing here is my day, here is my everyday. Um, why don't you come around and follow me or something like that? And as I go through and make more videos, because I'm going to continue making my videos, I will be making and doing outdoor videos, but now I know that I have to do it differently. Like, I cannot do an inspirational video while I'm walking around downtown and there's all these people because I live in a tourist town, so that's going to be extremely distracting for me. So that is something that I've learned really well, and understanding that I am better at sitting around and having a good time, me and you together. Now, again, because I am, just beginning, all of this just feels quite weird, and we shall see how it goes, right? Now, by the time I get to my fourth, by the time I get into my fourth 20 days, which is getting into my 80 days, lot is happening here, right? I started thinking and feeling that I need to have better tools. Um, that's when I'm like, I need a GoPro. I need to be editing. I need a better mic. I need thumbnails. I need all the bells and whistles. I need a banner. Um, I need to, spruce myself up. I need to change my hair. I need to change my lip. I need whiter teeth. Um, that's when I start to like, oh my God, I need to look at how well this person is doing her thing. But this person been doing her thing for 25 years. I have only been doing my thing for 100 days. Like, I cannot compare that, right? And wanting to have all the bells and whistles, it's good. It's good. It's good. I still show up as myself no matter what's going on. I still do what I need to do, even though I'm feeling like the distraction is I still have to follow what everybody else is doing and getting the bells and whistles. I noticed when I was in Niagara on Niagara Fall when I was visiting my friend, it wasn't a holiday, it wasn't a vacation. It was me visiting someone that is not well, and it's so different from being on a holiday or a vacation, right? But I saw a guy with this very little GoPro, walking down the street, and I was like, whoa, damn, like I want one of those. But here we sorry guys, I had to turn this off again. My phone is ringing, and it is just getting really crazy that my phone is ringing like that, and I had to turn it off again. Sorry about that. Because I'm on my phone, so it would ring. But the difference with me and the guy with the GoPro, I am better at doing what they call the talking head videos. Is that what they call us, the talking head videos? I'm better at that. And ultimately, as I say, I would go out and share and, video around. But I think my dissatisfaction with the fact that, or the feeling, it's not that I'm dissatisfied with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. It's the part of me that is telling me that I need to do it all different so that I can prove to other, like, this is what I like. And I don't know why it is. Um, I am wanting to tell myself I have to do it differently. Like, I need to have a bookcase behind me, and I need to, like, none of you guys give an F, like, you don't give a flying F that I am, doing this on my couch. if I am interested to you, you're going to listen and be part of, what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that I am interested to you, and I'm hoping that I remember to, to turn on my mic, because I can do this whole video without, remembering to turn on my mic. So this whole idea that I need all these fancy things is keeping me from being excited to show up and do the things the way I was doing it in the first place. Because before I even get used to doing it the way I'm doing it, I feel like I need to change it. And I don't want to do that. Again, especially as I'm having this dialogue with you here and there, all these other things are coming up for me, making me realize, you know what, Jean, you love this. You love sitting here and talking and having a riff. Um, and again, in this almost 80-day session area, I also realized that I'm coming back to this whole place of I need a niche. What is my niche? Is my niche spirituality? Is my niche beginning again? Is my niche inspirational speeches? Is my niche storytelling? What is my niche? How do I narrow it down to what I want my niche to be? And so this is something that I'm looking into, as to, do I narrow it down to one niche? Or one of the things I find myself looking at is like, do I go in and start doing this 5 things I love about Tommy, or 5 things I learn about myself after divorce, and 5 things I want to prepare for dinner, and 5 things I learn about the plants on my window. Um, I don't know, like, Jesus, I don't know if I want to do the 5 things, but because it seemed like that is what people click on, then I want to do it, because I'm like, oh, I want people to click onto my video. On the other hand, I want people to click onto my video because they like my video, and they see a real natural person just talking, because that's who I am, a very much a natural woman. I'm a natural woman. That's who I am, natural woman. Um, I'm just writing this down because I need to remember that, I'm just a natural woman, be a natural woman. And so that can be confusing for me, and it might be confusing for you, because again, this niche thing have me spinning my, and believe me, um, I have spent years in the space of wanting to market my own life coaching business and my health coaching business since 2015. And although a life coaching business, I'm still being told that I need to niche it down. And for many, many years, because niching really make me feel like I'm inside a box. And because I'm being told that I have to be inside of that box to really succeed in this arena, it's very hard for me to really niche myself inside of that box. So I am still playing around with that, right? I'm still playing around with all of that. So we shall see how that is looking. Now, the last 20 days is, here's the thing. So in that last 20 days, between the 420 days, which is in the 80 number, 80 days numbers around there, I start to travel. So, and within those days, things got really, like, I had to do my videos wherever it was convenient. It was never anymore, I have a place to do my video. So I had no choice. I was walking around doing my video. I was doing my video in the rain. I was doing my video in a convention in Winnipeg, sitting on a couch there. I was doing my video in a friend of mine's basement by her fireplace. I did my video in a gray wall in one of my friend bedroom. Um, I did my video walking around, as I say, in the rain, walking around in the evening time, sitting by, ugly trees. And I've been doing all of that. And but what I realized in that last 20 days here as I'm coming along is that the things I love about myself when I started being who I am, when I started out, being myself, being in my own personality, enjoying my own joke, um, those things start to feel like they change, it start to feel like I'm just doing all this work for what? Why am I doing all of this? Like, um, it just it makes me like, oh, I want to be like others, I want to be successful, um and all that time, I'm traveling, but i'm I'm like, I'm just doing videos every day. What is my takeaway? What am I gaining? Why am I not successful? All these things, no, but again, as I'm reflecting on this, I'm realizing that my plan when I started was to just do 100 videos, to just come on here and have fun, do the videos like myself, and make sure I post it every day. I didn't have, there was no, I didn't have a whole list of subject and topics. And my plan was very, very, very simple. Press play, do my video, and post the video every day. That was the plan. And my why for doing it is that this is my retirement plan side gig. So doing my videos is my retirement plan side gig. Personally, I'm not going to fully retire for maybe another 5 years. So if I start now, this in 5 years, this would be my retirement plan. So this is my why. And I love that this is my why, and I keep it my why because my plan is to have my side business be this YouTube street. That's my plan. So this is where I'm going to stop this video for today. um I still have at least two more video to make it 100 days. But the bottom line is reflecting on this last 100 days is really interesting because I need to really go back in. And I like how I got, the first 20 days, the second 20 days, the third 20 days, the fourth 20 days, and the fifth 20 days, all of that make up to 100. And I like that I reflect on it that way because it gave me a more of a visual. It also showed me um, most of my topics, remind me of all the things that I talk about and where I started in all these 20 days. And I think I'm going to really and truly, so that when I'm continuing on, I may have a niche. I may make my niche spirituality. I may make my niche my spiritual journey. I may make it um, what is the other thing that I were talking on? Inspirational. I may make it an inspirational thing. I may make it like a storytelling, or I may make it, it's never too late to start again, or make it about what are we doing as our retirement plan, how to do. So we never know. I'm just going to go with it, and maybe I'll continue tomorrow on what it is I come get out of my reflection on top of my reflection on top of my reflection. Now, guys, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, do less and be more. Just love yourself, how you are, who you are in this lifetime. I love you. Have a good one.